should have said no. When Alex dared me to spend the night in the old Kavanaugh house, I should have laughed it off, called him crazy, and walked away. But I didn't. I was 17, stupid, and desperate to prove I was in T, scared of a crumbling house at the end of a forgotten road. Everyone in our town knew about the place, the stories, the whispers, the unspeakable things that supposedly happened there. But to us, they were just that, stories. Urban legends passed around to keep kids from trespassing. It was supposed to be a joke, a dare, nothing serious. Alex promised he'd wait outside all night, and I promised I'd stay inside until sunrise. No phones, no flashlight, just a candle and a sleeping bag. Easy. But from the moment I stepped across the rotting threshold, I felt something watching me. Not just the usual creaks and groans of an old house. It was personal. Like the walls themselves were holding their breath. The air was thick, damp, almost wet, like the house had been crying for decades and never dried out. I set up my sleeping bag in what used to be the living room. The wallpaper was peeling like dead skin, and the floor sagged in the middle. My candle flickered wildly, even though there was no breeze. I tried to laugh it off and texted Alex one last time. "I'm in. See you at dawn." No response. I figured he was just messing with me. That's what friends do. I sat down, lit the candle, and tried to act cool. But every second that passed made me feel more like I was being swallowed. The darkness pressed in, alive and aware. And then came the sound, a dragging noise. Slow, deliberate, like someone pulling their feet across the hallway just beyond the arch. My heart dropped. I told myself it was the house settling, maybe a raccoon. But when I called out, "Hello," the dragging stopped. Silence. Thick, total. I could hear my own pulse thudding in my ears. I grabbed the candle and moved toward the hallway. The flame dimmed, as if the house didn't want to be seen. I turned the corner, and there nothing. Just a long hallway lined with doors, all closed. But one was ajar, just barely. Enough to whisper invitation. I should have turned back, should have run. But I stepped forward, candle shaking in my hand. The closer I got, the colder it became. Not just cool freezing, like winter had settled behind that door. I pushed it open. Inside was a bedroom, untouched by time. The bed was made, the curtains were drawn, and sitting in the corner, facing the wall, was a child-sized rocking chair, slowly creaking back and forth. My breath caught. I stared at the chair, hoping, praying it was just momentum, but it stopped. Instantly, as if acknowledging me. I took one step in. The door slammed shut behind me. I screamed, spun around, tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. Then I heard it, a voice. Small, broken, childlike. "Are you here to play?" I turned back. The chair was empty, but something was crawling from beneath the bed. Pale hands, too many fingers. A face followed, eyeless, mouth sewn shut with thick black thread. I dropped the candle. Darkness consumed everything. I scrambled backward, slamming into the door, pounding, begging. I felt hot breath on my ear. "Don't leave me alone again." The door flew open, and I fell into the hallway. The light from my fallen candle barely lit the floor, but I saw footprints, wet, bare, leading away. I ran. I didn't stop. I didn't look back. But the house wasn't done. As I turned the corner into the living room, the floor gave way. I plunged into darkness, hitting dirt hard. I had fallen into the basement. The smell hit my and rot, mold. I scrambled up and saw jars, dozens of them, all lining the walls, each one filled with something that looked like teeth, or fingernails, or worse. And then I heard the whispering, from the walls. The jars, from inside my own skull. They all said the same thing, over and over. "You shouldn't be here." A figure stepped from the shadows. It was Alex, or at least it looked like him. But his skin was too pale, his eyes too wide, smile too fixed. "I dared you," it said, voice warped. "You came." I backed away. "Alex, what's going on?" It tilted its head. "You stayed. Now you're part of it." The lights flickered. The jars rattled. And from the walls, more hands emerged. Grasping, hungry, I screamed and ran toward the stairs, but they were gone. Just smooth wall where they had been, no escape. The thing wearing Alex's face lunged. I ducked, rolling behind a rusted pipe, my hand brushing against something cold, a trapdoor. I yanked it open and climbed through, barely squeezing my body into the crawl space. The thing screeched behind me, fingers clawing at the wood. I crawled and crawled, the space getting tighter, the whispers louder, until I saw light, a vent. I kicked it open and pulled myself through. I landed outside, in the yard, grass, dead, trees twisted. The house behind me groaned like it was angry. I turned to run and saw Alex, the real Alex, sitting in his car, headlights on, wide-eyed. I dove in, screaming at him to drive. We didn't stop until we were miles away. When I asked him why he didn't answer my texts, he looked at me confused. "You never texted me. I was calling you all night, but your phone was off." I showed him my phone. The text was there sent, but the timestamp 3:33 a.m. I had sent it exactly 3 hours after I arrived. That's when I realized I had no memory of those 3 hours. Just the basement, just the thing wearing his face. We never talked about it again. I never went near that road again. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear the voice, the one from the chair. "Don't leave me alone again." And when I wake, there's dirt under my fingernails. Like I've been digging, like I'm looking for something, or someone. The worst part, I never left anything behind in that house, but something came back with me, a shadow in the mirror, a whisper in the dark, and I'll never forget the way it smiled through Alex's face. I should have said no. Until next time, stay safe.